Hey everybody, this is Perch, and some big delays over on the Marvel side. We've talked about DC delays, and I think DC's been, in many ways, I think, a little bit more forthcoming about, announcing the delays before they actually hit. With Marvel and Penguin, it's been a little bit more of a surprise when there's delays, and definitely the overall supply chain is causing problems. Again, and I'll just throw this out there, and this is not a 100% thing anywhere, so this is not an absolute statement, but I think that a lot of things are being blamed on the supply chain, on paper. In this case, these delays we're about to talk about apparently have something to do with ink more than paper. But I also think there's another thing happening, which is that we've got a shortened editorial staff at both of the big two companies. We know that is a fact. We know that there is a lot of kind of logistical scrambling, people struggling to get things back. Deadlines are getting tighter and squeezed, and in some cases later. And so this isn't just supply chain. I think everybody is going to point to supply chain and paper and COVID as the reason, but it's not the only reason. That's not to say this is all a big cover up. I'm not saying that either. I'm not saying there's no paper issues or no printing issues or no ink issues or no supply chain issues. Those are also issues, but they're just not 100% of them. I don't know, if you picture a pie chart in your mind, I personally would lay money that at least 50% of the problem is internal lack of editorial staff, general confusion about how things are going, scheduling problems that happen within the company long before we get to printing and ink and supply chain. But again, I don't know what that exact percentage is. I'm just saying that by purely conversations I have with people inside the companies at distribution, marketing, and editorial, where they talk about the fact that there is not enough staff to get even basic things done, and they're having trouble just getting in touch with people, and it's, you lose days. And consistently, they're losing more and more days. So that is going on. Again, how much is that factoring in? Who knows? Maybe we'll never know. But we have some delays on the Marvel side, and this is really about the X-Men, because all of the X-Men line books, or the vast majority of them, have been delayed. And in some cases, the delays are very minor. In some cases, they're pretty huge. So starting out on the minor side, Hellions, number 17, Excalibur, number 26, coming up on the final issues of these. That was supposed to come out next week, November 3rd. It's now coming out November 10th, so a 1 week delay. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. But then we get into kind of bigger things. So then we have, following the next week, we have Sword, number 10, and X-Force, number 25. X-Force is the big cliffhanger regarding Colossus that, in theory, plugs into Inferno, number 3, but who knows. That has gone from November 10th to November 17th. Again, 1 week delay, not a huge deal. Same thing is true with X-Men number 5 and Wolverine 18. Goes from the 17th of November to the 24th of November. Again, another 1 week push. Then we start to get things pushed out a little bit more. So New Mutants number 23 and X-Men Trial of Magneto number 4. Still trying to get out that series that comes before Inferno. Trial of Magneto number 4, New Mutants 23, were supposed to come out mid-November, November 17th, now coming out December 1st, so a 2 week delay there. And then Marauders number 26, which I think that's also the final issue before the restart. I don't know. Inferno number 3. Okay, Marauders 26, Inferno 3. Inferno 3, which in theory, if the covers are believed, is promising us that Krakoa finally gets attacked and we get out of parliamentary proceedings at the Council of Krakoa and actually get some action going on. But anyway, that was supposed to come out before Thanksgiving, November 24th, 2 week delay to December 8th. And this is where it starts to get really, really dodgy, because once we're into December, now we have additional shipping woes with people trying to get stuff going with the overall kind of Christmas comics and everything else. And so when we get to this next bit, and by the way, there's a bunch more to say after this. We get Vita's New Mutants, number 24 and 25, which is promising, 25 at least, promising the reveal of Magic as a Sorceress Supreme. We go from December 1st for issue 24 to February 9th, so a 2 month delay there. And we go from New Mutants 25, which was going to be January 12th, to March 9th, so another 2 month delay. So what's going on there? So when you have a 1 week delay, okay, another 1 week delay, all right, a couple 2 week delays, Notice Inferno #4 is not on this list and is expected to also delay. But we're seeing this weird kind of rolling effect where these titles are getting very late. Now, the X-Men universe doesn't cross over or do much with the regular Marvel universe, so I don't think we can blame this on I don't believe that we can blame this on trying to align comics by any stretch of the imagination. I think it's definitely different than that. But it is having this colliding effect. If, for example, New Mutants is picking up on Death of Doctor Strange, then that's a pretty big deal. Anyway, there's a lot to this that starts to add up over time. And again, the X-Men lineup has been billed by the X-Men creators, at least, and to some extent Marvel, as being their moneymakers, a very important very important line that matters. But it's then why all these delays, and New Mutants is thoroughly damning, I think. What's going on there? Anyway, a lot of stuff to think about. DC has had their delays, certainly. Marvel now having their delays in the X-Men line. It's zero doubts. Well, here's one curious bit. I guess I'll just roll in here with this. Is we're not seeing these same kind of rolling delays with other Marvel comics. Why is that? Why are we only seeing it with the X-Men office? Well, I think the X-Men office is getting ahead of it, and they're putting stuff out. I'm sure these delays are going to exist other places. I have no doubt about that. But it is a little odd that it's being displayed this way. The news is coming out this way. And in theory, unless we're purely talking, if we want to put all the blame on ink and paper, all right. But then why is New Mutants having a 2-month delay for something that was coming out in January? That's quite a ways ahead. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And if this was if this was truly Marvel's kind of breadwinner and big comic, and again, you talk to the people in the X office and they believe this is what's running the entire company right now, it doesn't add up. None of this stuff adds up. Why would you delay something that's one of your bigger numbers? Why would you delay it by 2 months? Why would you take something like Inferno, for example, that is, in theory, the biggest comic Marvel thinks they're going to publish this year in terms of coming out of the X office, trying to recreate that Hoxpox situation? Why is that comic being hit so hard with this? Why wouldn't they shuffle other things to make sure it gets out if it was purely paper and ink? So some stuff doesn't add up here, and it is interesting to see how this stuff is going. I don't know. It's a big delay. I guess that's all I can say. This is a significant delay, and New Mutants as a title is just getting pummeled. And this is not Vita's first ball game. They had that issue with Children of the Atom getting delayed by a year, and now more. And we saw throughout this entire year, we've seen a number of situations where Marvel was basically just skipping a month for a number of the X comics because they weren't ready to have them out. So anyway, none of this is good. And it is really striking. I guess this just should be kept in your head for when people say things like the X-Men lineup is, the top seller for all of Marvel. Hard to buy that. Again, unless you are completely incompetent in business, and I mean, never say never, it doesn't quite add up that you have, the top selling books, or the books that are getting promoted and displayed as the top selling books, as the one that people are willing to slide in favor of other things. There's parts of this that just either speak to a very disruptive supply chain, or just poor management of it, or maybe a combination of both. Again, I think it's a combination of both. I don't think they're trying to hide this big super sneaky thing, but I do think they're underselling their own editorial issues, and I think nobody really wants to hear that right now. So anyway, for what it's worth, let me know what you think about these delays. Does it hurt the impact and the momentum of the title? Are you going to, how much does this impact your reading, which is the big deal? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, of course, And thanks for listening.